that you would have rather stuck with the core of Rubio or of Towns, LaVine, Wiggins, and given his knee injury, Zach wasn't signing a max deal. He signed a deal that was, I think he makes around $20 a year. I think it was $480 that he signed, which is a heck of a lot of money, but not a break the bank third star. So you might have been able to make it work. Could that team have worked and been competitive and not only been a playoff team, but a deep playoff team? I don't know. I'm not sure, but I do like the way those skill sets complement each other, with Wiggins slashing, with LaVine shooting, with Towns kind of doing a little bit of everything. And from a chemistry standpoint, those three just really got along well, and so that would have worked out. Would they have driven any coach who was running the show here mad with their defensive issues? Probably. But would you take that over lighting a match underneath Target Center and burning it down the way that they did last year? Yeah, you probably would do that.
And Markkanen is kind of the other factor here. He seems to be struggling a bit.
He is, yeah. He has not been very good for them to this point. I think our athletic writer in Chicago, Darnell Mayberry, said that 17 of his last 18 games have been what he would categorize as disappointing or underwhelming. He just doesn't seem to be developing well there. Now, is that because Zach LaVine is taking all the shots? I'm not sure. I don't know, but I just do know that he's been pretty disappointing coming off an injury-plagued year last season and getting into the groove here. He had a huge game on the opening night, but after that, it's been pretty ugly.
Wolves, as we speak here on a Monday morning, I believe are 8-8. They are kind of hanging around the playoff picture. It feels like, as good as Towns has been, as good as Wiggins has been, they're going to really need key role players to play really well for them. They haven't looked like the same team since Layman got hurt. The flip side of that is it looks like, while they missed on Garland and D'Angelo Russell, it feels like they did a really nice job of picking up spare parts who fit in here. And the fact that they actually missed Layman when he's not in is kind of an indication of that.
Yeah, and it is tough for them right now because they're 8-8 and they have not played particularly well over the last week. But look, they missed Robert Covington on Saturday for personal reasons. He had a death in the family, so he had to leave. They missed Wiggins for a death in the family a week and a half ago. He missed 3 games. Layman is out. Shabazz Napier has missed a bunch of games in a row with a hamstring injury. So they're kind of not only fighting or trying to continue to develop their system the way that they want to develop it, but they just had a bunch of absences that every team has to go through. There's no doubt about that, but it feels like it's derailed some of the momentum that they were building earlier when they were 7-4 and it looked like things were coming together. The Layman injury is a big one. I mean, he was really playing well. He really moves well without the ball. He does so many things that they want their wing players to do, and he was knocking down shots as well. And so to be missing him for multiple games because of this turf toe, and there's no indication of when he's going to be back, but I don't think it's anytime incredibly soon. It's tough. Okogie's banged up. Trevion Graham missed. They've just had a lot of things come their way, which is unfortunate because they were playing some games against some opponents that they quote unquote should have been able to win. Now they go into December and there's some really tough games, some 2 long road trips, 2 4-game road trips. So they're facing a moment in time right now where they really got to hold on tight, or else some losses could stack up here pretty quickly.
Last topic for today. Again, follow us on Twitter at TalkNorthPod. And remember, TSR injury law, 612-TSR time, and Bitesquad, promo code TalkNorth. Jordan Bell, he finally gets on the court and is able to contribute a little bit. What do you think his role going forward is?
I think it's going to increase a little bit. Ryan and Gerson want to play smaller and kind of faster. Bell is sort of an in-between like a Robert Covington at the 4 and a Noah Vonleh at the 4. Vonleh, this big hulking guy who they put out there against Phoenix, and he really did not play well. And then Covington is a smaller shooter type of a 4, stretch 4. So Bell is right in there between. He's not a guy who's going to score a lot of points, but he's a dirty work guy, blocks shots, gets rebounds offensively and defensively, gets up and down the court. He can move pretty quickly. He can guard multiple positions. And so he's kind of been waiting for the right time to be able to show what he can do. He dealt with some injuries in training camp and a little bit earlier in the season, and now he's healthy. He played very well against Phoenix. He got in there, played a bunch of minutes, and he fits well next to Towns because he doesn't need any shots. He'll be the one that sharpens his elbows and goes to work and let Towns shoot some threes and do some work in the post, whatever it needs to be. So it's an intriguing fit, and I do think going forward here, you're probably going to see a little bit more of him and a little bit less of Vonleh, who's been struggling lately.
Let's get a final thought from John. Again, follow us at Talk North Pod on Twitter. Keep up with our developments, and we're going to have some really interesting things going on with the network in the next few months. And I really appreciate everybody who's helped support the network, listen to the network, sponsor the network as we've grown. It's going to be a really cool year in 2020. And once again, just simply thank you. John, final thought on the Timberwolves or anything else?
Yeah, it's a little bit, just a little bit of a dangerous time right now for them. They're as we're recording this, we're getting ready to play at Atlanta on Monday night. They play at San Antonio on Wednesday before Thanksgiving, and then they have a bunch of road games in December. So if they could somehow go 2-0 on this road trip, or they at least have to split to try and kind of keep the boat afloat a little bit here and get some guys back over the next week or 2 weeks, then they could be okay. But the one thing that they do have to start doing a better job of is getting Karl Anthony Towns the basketball in the fourth quarter. There's been too many times where Jeff Teague has not been able to get the post-entry passes to him, and the opponents are able to take him away in the fourth, and it's really kind of messing with Towns' rhythm, with the ability of the offense to be effective. So they got to iron that out here in the next couple of games here, find a way to keep him involved and see if they can kind of get things turned back in the right direction.